Hello everyone, today we're going to be making Lisa and Marie's authentic Italian meatballs and sauce. Hopefully they're more authentic than Dark Side Phil's, but we're gonna find out. I'm very curious about this. So we're gonna do both at the same time. All the ingredients you're gonna need 4 cans of 15-ounce contadina sauce. Make sure you get sauce, don't get the paste or any of the other crap. Don't get the sauce with any herbs in it. We want this specific sauce because we know how much sodium is in it. You're going to want a big thing of salt. Try and get iodized salt, but I couldn't find it. I just have regular Morton salt. You're going to need, what is this? Garlic powder, onion powder. You're going to need canola oil. You're going to need 3 nice sized onions. You're going to need unseasoned breadcrumbs. I would get a whole lot for this. You're going to need fresh basil, which I'll show you how to clean here shortly. You're going to need 4 eggs. Preferably get the brown eggs. That's the stuff she uses. You're going to need 1 nice head of garlic. We're going to use about 5 cloves out of this, maybe even 10 cloves. I don't know if I'll get 10 out of here, but we'll see. And then you're going to need ground beef. Now, the recipe calls for fucking 8713 ground beef. I went everywhere last night, and I went a couple more places today, and I could not find 8713 to save my life. So what we're going to do, we're going to kind of cheat the recipe a little bit. We're going to use a little over a pound of 8515, and we're going to use a little over a pound of 9010. If we mix these together, we should get 8713, right? That's how Henry's Kitchen math works. So we're going to use these. All right, so what we're going to start with is we're going to go wash our basil real quick. You're going to need about 6 to 12 sprigs of basil. So let me go wash this and I'll be right back. Alright, so I went and rinsed out my basil with water. I'm going to do 2 of these. This is going to be kind of a weird recipe. I'll show you why here in a little bit. But we got 2 cups of these, 6 in each. Now we're going to start with our sauce first. So we're going to take whatever kind of saucepan you're going to use, and we're going to open up all the cans of contadina, and we're going to put it right in there. So we're going to take all 4 of these cans. We're going to dump them right inside of our sauce pot. Just give me a second while I do this. Now I remember showing you when worked with Dark Side Phil's recipe that he'd take a little bit of water and put that in there and swish it around and try and get the rest of the sauce out of the cans, but we don't have to do that. We're just gonna pour it right in there. We'll be alright. Put that in there. Okay. If you get any all over your hands, make sure you go wash your hands. Look at that. Look at this. So I'm gonna go wash my hands real quick. I'll be right back. Alright, so we're going to do garlic powder next. So we want to get, with our spices, we're not going to measure anything. We're going to do like a little coating on the top of these. And then, let me actually turn on the light. Hang on one second. Turning on the light kind of didn't help. Well, maybe a little bit. But we're going to make even coating on the top of it. Now, when we're going to do garlic powder, we want to get half of the sauce covered, like on the top layer covered with the garlic powder, and that's how we'll know we have enough there. Alright, so we got perfect on that. We want to do the onion powder half a surface as well, so we'll actually just do the other half here. See if I can't see in there. A little crazy. There, that's about half the surface. We want to take black pepper, which I gotta go get it. Hang on. Sorry, I forgot to get my black pepper. Also add this to the recipe. Alright, so we're going to do a quarter of the surface of this. So let's see if we can't get a quarter here. Shake it in there really good. There, that should be about a quarter of it. Alright, and then we're going to put this pot, see how it looks really nice, and this is kind of the semblance we want. So we're going to put this pot on the stove on medium high. Alright, so as you can see, I got it about medium high. I might go a little higher. And I want to stir this around. Now, if you're using an electric stove, you should put it on the number 7. We'll leave this right in here. It's not going to hurt anything. Alright, well, we got that. we're going to wait until that boils. Like I said, I got my little cheat sheet here. Now we're going to get a second pan, and we're going to heat up some oil. I'm going to use this pan right here. We're going to put about a cup and a half of this canola oil in it. So we just want a little layer on here. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of deep fry our vegetables a little bit. A little bit more. A little bit more. That should be good. We're going to kind of deep fry our onion, our garlic, and all that good stuff. So we're going to put it on the stove, and we're going to heat this up. We're also going to put this on about high. Just be careful. Obviously, we don't want to totally destroy you. So just put it on nice and high. There we go. Perfecto. Wait till this comes up to a boil. We also want our sauce to come up to a boil. Occasionally stir at it so it doesn't stick to the bottom. Now while we're waiting for that to come up, Maria is going to show us how to cut up our onion real quick. So I'm going to cut it on the side, and she's going to show us how to do it all the way. Well, actually, first we're going to peel it. So I'll peel it my normal way. And we're going to take this right over the sink, and we're going to wash it. So we're going over to the sink. We're going to wash off our onion. We don't want any germs from the onion on here. We want to wash it straight off. Not like the skin protects it from any pesticides or any bad things. So we're going to just do that really quick. We'll bring it back over here. And then, like I said, Maria's going to show us how to dice it up.
Now we will take the onion, which I have just washed, and dice it. You can use a chopper if you choose, but it's very simple to just chop it into little pieces. Being careful not to hurt yourself in any way. And once the onions have been cut into smaller pieces, you take the onion.
All right, now that we have the onion nice and diced, we can just do a couple pieces more. We're going to add it right into the oil. We'll take this. Just be careful when you add it into the oil. Woo! We're going to get a grease fire here. Woo! Just be careful, that is hot oil. We're going to take a spoon and we're going to stir it around here a little bit. Ow, fucker. We'll stir it around a little bit here. We'll stir up our pasta sauce again. Still waiting on it to boil. It's almost there. Now we want to put some of this basil in the oil too. So we'll put the basil right in there. We'll stir it up one more time. Alright, so while that's cooking up, we're going to have Marie show us how to cut this garlic up.
The garlic. Now, you cut the garlic. I like to use approximately 5 cloves. I cut the other side. You can peel this however you choose. I just like to save time and do it that way. And then you take it and you peel the cloves. This takes a few minutes.
And while we're doing this too, make sure this gets nice and golden brown. We're going to actually turn her down just a little bit to low. Give her a stir. We want to get that garlic in there soon, I hope. Alright, once you have your garlic peeled, you got to go over to the sink and we're going to wash it first. So let's go over to the sink. And this will be perfect time we can wash our hands too. So now some people, she says that some people say you don't have to wash your garlic, but that's just ludicrous. Why won't you wash this garlic? Alright, perfecto. Come back over here. I'm just going to do it on a paper plate so I don't have to worry about all the shells getting everywhere. I'm going to take my knife. I'm just going to finely chop it a little bit more. And I did 5 because I have bigger chunks than she did, but chop them up, not fine, but not too small either. And that should be good. This looks alright to me. We're going to put it right in our mixture here. Put that in there. Stir it up, and like I said, you want to stir this baby until everything is nice and golden brown. And then I gave this a stir while this is still cooking right here. Make sure this stays at a boil. If you gotta keep it at low heat or just a little higher than that, that'd be fine. But what we're going to do is we're going to strain this crap right into here. We want that nice oily flavor from this. Now some say that apparently she says that people don't like her sauce because it's too oily, but that's alright. We can fix that. We can just take some scoops of it later and take it right off the top and it'll be great. So I'm going to stir her mixture one more time. Alright, I think our mixture is looking pretty good. Most of it's pretty golden brown. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our strainer. I'm going to move right the hell out of the way. Oop, fucking thing burned me. And take this pot. Now you're going to hear it sizzle up pretty good. So we're going to put straight fucking hot oil through it. I guess I didn't hear it sizzle like in her video. There's no snap, crackle, pop in there. I guess there's a little bit of it. We're going to leave the heat on low. And we're going to let it sizzle. Ooh, scared myself. We're going to give this a quick stir. We're going to make sure that the heat is on low. And we're going to let this simmer for about 30 minutes covered. Let me turn the heat down a little bit lower. See how nice the consistency is still? It's a little watery, but we're going to cover it up. We're going to, like I said, we're going to stir it every about 10 minutes or so. Alright, so for our next part, we want to get a large piece of tin foil laid right out flat. We're going to take our both of our ground beefs. We're going to kind of mix them all together. So actually, I'm just going to set one like this. Set the other one kind of like that. Put these here. We're gonna mix them just a little bit so we can get make sure we got our 87-13 here. You can mix them with your hands, but make sure that you wash your hands a whole lot. So we're gonna make sure these are nice and flat throughout the whole thing. We're gonna have a nice even layer. Let me get a nice even layer on here. I think that should be about what we want. Let's pull a little bit from there. Alright, so we got a nice evenish flat layer. So I want you to first go wash your hands. So let's go wash your hands. We're not even going to use soap. We're just going to wash our hands. This is how you do it. Amount of fucking paper towels everywhere. This is ridiculous. Start having to use rags. Alright, so the first thing we're going to add onion powder. Now, how we're going to do this is a little weird. We're going to do 3 shakes of onion powder, but we want to get a nice coating on here. So we're going to kind of go like somebody put in a video. We're going to kind of go like a B-52 bomber across this fucking thing. Like we're bombing, napalming Vietnam. So we're just going to go just a 1 shake, 2 shake, 3 shake, and a little zip. Just like that. We're going to do the same thing with garlic powder. We're going to do it about 2 to 3 times. So garlic powder, 2, and then a little zip. Then we're going to take our pepper and we're going to do just 1 shake across with the pepper. So we'll go shake, a little wrist action. Now you don't want to get this too peppery. That would be just awful. So we're going to do a little zip there. Now we're going to take our iodized salt and we're going to do about 1.5 zips through. So let's hopefully do this proper. Here we go, one, and then a quick zip there. And now once you got these all together, we need some breadcrumbs on here. So we're gonna do 2 shakes over it. So I don't have the nice can, so I gotta use the bag. There's 1, and there's 2. There's 2 shakes of breadcrumbs over there. And now let's see, what else do we want to do? Alright, so now we want to get our eggs ready in the mixing bowl. Got a mixing bowl, get a cup and a paper towel. So we're going to put the paper towel right under here. Put the cup right here. Now we're going to crack the egg on the paper towel. I didn't hit it hard enough. See all the crapple I got through it? That was the worst crack in the world. We're going to check the inside for eggshells, and look at me, I got another eggshell in there. Then we're going to dump... Is there another eggshell? Yep, there's another eggshell piece right in here. That was probably the worst crack of my life. No, it wasn't even an eggshell piece. It was just the bottom of the glass. So we're going to dump it into our mixing bowl. We're going to do this several times. Can't crack an egg today to save my life. No egg pieces. Dump it right in there. Take another one. There we go. No egg pieces. Dump it right in. Well, at least I didn't see one, but I think there was one actually. I'm trying to get it. Can't get it. God damn it. See it right there? I can't get it. Got it. There, I got it. And we'll get one more. There, that was the nicest break so far. No eggshell pieces. Dump her right in there. What's that? Some kind of garbage. Yeah, screw it, it'll be fine. Alright, and now what we're going to do is we're going to lift up from both sides. We're going to lift up our meat. Make sure you have a really good grip on it. We're going to take it. We're just going to put it right into our batch here. Now, if you get any on the table, throw that shit right out. We don't want any eggshell on the table. Or, excuse me, we don't want any meat on the table. Look, see this chunk of meat here? We're not going to use this at all. So it's been about 10 minutes or so. We want to stir up our sauce again. Let's see how it's looking. It's coming out looking pretty good. And give her another 10 and then we'll stir, maybe even turn it down a bit. Alright, now that we have our meat concoction together, we're going to take a spoon, we're going to mix it around using our spoon. Now, if it's too wet, we can just add more breadcrumbs to it. Now, the great part about doing it on top of the tin foil is we can get a nice, even layer of seasoning throughout it. Now, she has exclaimed that people love her meatballs because they get a nice coating of sauce on it. None of it's just a little dry from just adding it straight in. So we're going to stir this around. It's obviously still pretty wet. But we're going to stir it some more and we'll see if we need to add more breadcrumbs to it. We probably will. And we'll make sure it's nice and stirred around good too. And if you get a little bit of eggshell in it, that should be alright. Now, I have a serious question while I'm stirring this. Do you think Marie would have a freaking heart attack if King Cobra made any kind of meal for her? I think she would. I think she would have a major heart attack. But I haven't seen Marie make anything in years. These are really the only videos of hers I watched. And I know she took down the meatball one. Alright, see how it's still wet, pretty wet in here? We want to add more breadcrumbs to it. Take our breadcrumbs and just add that bitch right in there. Go, stir up some more. There, that's looking nice and dry now. It's not as wet. Might even have to add just a tiny bit more. It looks a little wet still. Yeah, I'm going to add just a wee bit more breadcrumbs to it. I'm going to stir it. There. So after you washed your hands, now what you want to do is get yourself a paper plate. Put it right to the side. Paper plate, regular plate, doesn't really matter. I'm going to use paper plate. Put it off to the side. Now we want to mix these up with our hands. That's what makes the meatball recipe extra special anytime somebody does it. We'll do just a little mixture with our hands. Alright, and now the size of the meatballs we want to make are small to medium size. So just take a little chunk, roll it around in your hands. Make it look really nice and form it together. Let's see if I can, and just plop right on the plate. See, we'll just take a little bit, roll it together, and just plop right on the plate. Now I actually think her plopping on the plate's a pretty decent idea. Maybe those are a little bit bigger than I would want, but be fine. This one should be good. Plop. And just do that until all the meatballs are done. Make sure you remember to stir your sauce, which I gotta stir it here in just a few minutes. If I had some help like she did, plop, would probably be easier. Now remember, if any of this gets on your counter, make sure you throw it straight out. You don't want to use anything that cross-contaminated on your counter. I bet if I could, I would probably throw the whole counter right out. Plop. Alright, I'm just going to do half the meatballs for right now. I'm going to go wash my hands. Alright, so I'm going to stir my sauce, about another 10 minutes or so. We got 10 more minutes left on the sauce. Now, we're going to pretty much deep fry our meatballs here. So get a nice pan or whatever you want to use. Fill it up a little bit with some canola oil or vegetable oil. Don't use olive oil, it changes it. Put some extra basil in there. Put some more chopped up onions, and then put a couple of cloves of garlic in there. I just did a little bit here. And once it's boiling, turn it to low, and then we're going to put in the meatballs. They're going to cook for 10 minutes on one side. We're going to cook them for 10 minutes on one side, and then we're going to flip them and do 10 minutes on the other. Hopefully I have enough oil in the pan. I think that should be alright. So we're just going to test one first. We'll take one of our meatballs. Looks like I should probably have some more oil in there. It's only going to cook half of it. Hopefully I don't get myself a nice grease fire with this. That's the only thing I'm worried about, is a grease fire. Alright, and then my stuff has about 5 minutes left. I'm going to give it one final stir. Take that meatball out. So I'll be right back. Now, since Marie is an American, she doesn't wash her meat, which is kind of funny. You would think she would be one of the people who would want to wash their meat, but apparently not. She'll wash everything else, but she won't wash her meat. Alright, so I'm going to cover this. We want to cover cook this for 10 minutes. We'll check it, we'll flip it, and then we'll cook it another 10 minutes and we'll see how it looks, and if we gotta go a little bit longer, we can. And then my sauce should be finally done. I'm gonna turn that off. Drain this right in here. We'll give it one more stir. Now, I don't think I got as much oil in here as she did. So I'm just having literally 4 cans of contadina. You can see that mine doesn't have like an oil slick on top like hers does, so I don't think I added enough oil at the start of it, but I think it'll be alright. I think we'll still get the general gist of the flavor. And there's one more thing I want to do. I want to wash up my original pan. We're going to boil up some noodles too while our meatballs are cooking. So give me some time to do that, and we'll come back when I flip the meatballs. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes, so I'm going to lift this up here. Just be careful with my lid. I'm always worried about working with oil on the stove, because you never know. Like I said, it can cause a grease fire. It's looking pretty good, actually. They smell nice. Flip all of them over. Bottoms are getting pretty nice. That one didn't flip too well. See this one? Oop. Let's get another one. See this one? You can see how the bottom's coming out really nice. So actually, frying these isn't a bad idea. I commend you, Marie. I don't know why you decided to take this video down. There's nothing wrong with this so far. We'll see how it tastes though. We'll flip that one. We'll cover it back up and we'll cook her for another 10 minutes. Now over here I still have my water boiling for my noodles, but when we put in the noodles, which are the farfalle bow tie noodles, we want to, it's almost ready, not too much longer. We want to cook it for al dente. So what is that going to be, like 12 minutes? Yes, it's 12 minutes, so we should be good. Alright, this should be the last of the cook time here, so we're going to take this off. Just be careful. We're going to take one out and we're going to see how they're cooked all the way yet. It looks nice and browned up. Doesn't look too bad, so this should be cooked all the way. Take a look. Oh yeah, open that up. That's nice and done. So we'll take all these out of here. I'm going to turn the oil off for now. As you can see, my stuff got a little blackened. Now, if these taste good, I'll probably heat up the rest of it in here. If it doesn't, I'd probably just get rid of it, but we'll see. If these meatballs taste pretty good, then, like I said, I will probably heat the rest of it up. And then I will show you how to properly dispose of any kind of deep fryer oil. You cannot pull a dark side fill and just fucking throw it down your toilet pipes. You have to properly get rid of this. If you throw it down any of your pipes, you're just gonna fuck your whole system up. Alright, so I don't know if I'm gonna include it, but I had a little bit of the meatball already, but I'm just gonna kind of redo it. My pasta got done, so I just put my hot pasta in this nice bowl here. I just got a little side of it because I wanted to try the meatball alone and with the sauce. So I'll pick up the meatball again. Now, the meatball is a little dry. It has good taste, but it just mostly tastes breadcrumbs. Like it's just meat, breadcrumbs. You taste a little bit of the garlic, but you don't taste anything else. Now with the sauce, which like I said is probably mostly contadina on my end, it gives it a nice sweeter taste to it, and actually makes the meatball really lively and nice. But the meatballs are still dried out. Oop. But this is actually pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of pasta sauce on this, and I think it's pretty tasty. Let's try with the noodles. I mean, it's nothing special. It's literally contadina oil. I don't taste any of her extra additives. But I mean, you can't go wrong with something like this. I would say that her frying the meatballs is a decent idea, but fried it way too long. Either fried it way too long, or just how much breadcrumbs ruined it. You can't even get it. You can't even get it undry from all the breadcrumbs in there, but it's definitely edible. How I would rate it compared to like K's and dark side fills, I'd have to say that for actual taste, I like dark side fills a little bit more. I know his had like lots of sugar in it because we used a liquid measuring cup, but his took 4 hours to do and it wasn't worth 4 hours of time. This takes like half an hour or so, about an hour, which isn't too bad, but like I said, it's not really much of anything. If you're gonna do K's, is just still at the bottom. Yeah, technically, I didn't even try her meatballs, so. But if you're gonna make this, enjoy. I don't know why she took this video down. Enjoy though. Alright, so once your oil is sufficiently cooled, this is still a little hot, but when it's cooled down, you want to take your oil. You can either take it from a pan or you could take it right from your deep fryer. You want to take this bitch right outside. Shut this. Go across the way here. If you can't see nothing, that's alright. I think my phone battery is almost dead. Go in some grassy area away from your house or wherever you feel. Toss that right in the river or somewhere. Let's see if I can get a little light. I don't think it's gonna get a little light. Anyway, just toss it outside. Don't toss it down a drain. If you toss it down a drain, bad things happen to your plumbing. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video.